Hi, welcome back. I have a flip through here of my other Christmas journal that I have completed, and I am doing it separately from the other one just for that's really for my own convenience, because I often refer back. I did a pink and blue journal last Christmas, and I actually went back and looked at that video a few times just to remember some of the things that I'd done that I loved and wanted to sort of emulate in this journal. This is quite different from that one. That one was with just one signature sort of journal. This one has 4 signatures. It has about 100 pages. It's about 22 centimeters by about 15 with a 6.5 or 6 centimeter spine. And I've done a little bit of decorating on the front. It has this frame with the texture paste, and then some of the scrapbooking papers that I've used throughout I've fussy cut and put some glitter on, and then this little girl in the frame. So it's kind of cutesy. It's held together or closed with the pink seam binding, and I've used a paper pack throughout by Frank Garcia for Prima, which I had from last year and I hardly used. In fact, I didn't use it at all. So that was this year's goal, was to use some of that paper pack. So this is some vintage lace that I've avocado dyed that my mum gave to me, and I've made a tag to tuck in there, and the digitals mostly are from Ruby and Pearl Heather. So there's a mix of digital invoices and some old music and some embossed paper here, and some of the flowers from the kit with a little bell and heart charm at the top and a little ruffle. So I've slipped that in the front there. The first page is just this music manuscript paper. There's a couple of little snowflakes, some of the paper pack. So most of it will speak for itself, so we'll just flip through. I've put a little piece of very old vintage wallpaper in there because it's beautiful and I love it. And then here's a little tag that I've made, a little angel charm. I've turned these pages under. These can be ripped off, turned into tuck spots, or just left as they are. I've included a piece of 1863 ledger paper because of the blue colour. It's quite old and grungy, but it's also very beautiful and old. I've made a little tuck spot out of one of the Tim Holtz dies, and I've put some sort of that butter paper, actually that very thin tracing paper behind it, so it makes a beautiful crackling sound, but also it just stops from catching on those little fine bits. And in there I've tucked a little wee book that I've made with some scraps out of my scrap box mostly, and I've tucked that away in there, and there's a wee tag that says joy. And actually this is one of my favourite images from that pack, and it only comes in that tiny tag. I would have used it if it had been in the rest of the paper pad. It is a bigger image. Some pink avocado dyed paper, some ledger. This is my blue paper that I dyed with cabbage, and I've stenciled some snowflakes onto there. And as you can see, because the texture paste makes the paper wet, it's changed it a little bit on the back here, but actually I quite like it. See how it's purple? This is stitched with a 5-hole pamphlet stitch. Some beautiful satin hand stitch ribbon here, and there's our bell, because we have to have a bell. And you can see some of the imprints of the lace plastic doily I've used on here. Some ledger, some avocado dyed paper, and this ruffle. I've used that fabric throughout. A little piece of handmade ephemera, which is actually just this gorgeous beaded lace or netting. It's all stitched at the top. Some white embossed cardstock and an index card, just stitched together, and it's got this little beautiful jewel here, and that kind of holds it on the page. It's the great thing about the scrapbooking cardstock, is very sturdy. You can attach things to it, and it really stands up to it very well. I made a couple of journaling cards out of the images in the pack and put them on index cards for writing on, obviously. A little tab made out of some old crocheted sort of tablecloth edging, I think that was. And I've done a little punching down the side here. There's our ledger. A lot of the pages that I felt needed it have been reinforced either with masking tape or washi. More avocado dyed paper, and there's a little flip out here. That's made with the card images from the cardstock. So great place for photos or journaling. Did I turn it? Oh, and it's a tuck spot up here too. I forgot I'd done that. So there's a little tuck spot in there. Some of this beautiful paper, and I'm nearly run out of that. I'll be sad when that's all gone, because it's one of my favourite things to use. It embosses really well. And some more texture paste up here. A beautiful piece of music manuscript cover, which is pink and red. I thought that went well. Another texture paste there. Some more of that fabric, but this time with some sequin trim on it. Again, lots of places to journal, to put photos. There's a little up tuck here. That no doubt I will put something in, because actually I've got some ephemera that I haven't put in here because it was getting rather large. Here's another up tuck here. So this piece of cardstock is wrapped over the top of this page. A little stitch snippet with one of my tiny little jewelry tags and a very old millinery flower there. And then this is made actually from one of Heather's Ruby and Pearls digitals. I stitched these sequins on here, and this opens up like this, and it's got just some music paper with some snowflakes stenciled, a little white bag, glassine sort of bag with snowflakes stenciled, and this angel image, which is printed onto tracing paper. So it wouldn't surprise me once this journal is purchased, whether it wouldn't surprise me if there's a little bit more stuff that comes with it, because I made so much and I just needed to stop and complete the journal. A little sari silk bow with this beautiful trim, and as you can see I've used this white trim throughout. Some more snowflakes, some paper from a very old diary that I have, and then some blue and white ledger paper that my friend Barb gave me, which is not super old, but you know, actually vintage is the 80s now pretty much, so you kind of think, oh, that's not old, but actually it probably is. It's from a huge big massive piece of paper. Some of this cool shimmery silver fabric made into a ruffle, and you can see the dyeing that, I don't know if you can actually, there's some imprint from the lace. Oh, there's more, there's much more visible on this side. So I like that the ledger here, ledger paper is pink and blue. Some more satin with the sequins and a little tab on there, and then this folds out. So that can be torn off, and this folds out to this very grungy piece of music paper, which I love. And tucked in here is a sort of journaling card, which is embossed and backed onto this cardstock, which is from the scrapbooking pad. So there's some running repairs on this paper, but I love it. Some avocado dyed grid paper. There's a piece of ephemera tacked on here, made with a digital image, and attached to some more of the 1927 diary paper. I love that. Last signature, another tag that I've made here, and actually this is a tuck, or it's not a tuck spot, it's like a belly band, I guess. I haven't glued down that edge, but yeah, you could tuck something in here if you wanted to, or glue it down. And there's some pink invoice on the back. It's a digital. Some paper from the 1940s. It's got the duplicate on it. Some just lined paper that's been avocado dyed. Some old ledger. I think it's a doctor's ledger, which is extending this page here. This is some more of that same music cover paper, and this one I've stuck a doily to, and wrapped around there is this piece of New Zealand ephemera from 1945, and a piece of avocado dyed music paper. So that just tucks in there. Another piece of ephemera on that beautiful cotton handmade paper with a little bit of velvet ribbon tied there. Big pocket here, but again it could be used torn down here and flipped down, or whatever you chose. Some more of that beautiful trim, and a big pocket here with another tag in it, made with mostly the scrapbooking paper here. Some of my little snowflake cutouts and a digital, and some scrapbooking paper that I had in my scrap bin in the back. It's the right sort of blue colour. A beautiful big white seam binding bow. There's a big pocket on the back, really big deep pocket, and I made one of these envelopes that Heather from Ruby and Pearl had shown on her YouTube channel, and I made it using a copy of one of my own music covers. I know it says springtime, well, it is spring here, but I love the colour and I love the graphics on there, and then it's lined with one of her digitals. I haven't put anything in here at this stage, but I am quite likely to. I just didn't know how bulky to make this journal, but I love that tucked in there. And that's the end. That's the end of that one. Very pretty pink and blue. I love how she's turned out. Again, there's quite a lot of stuff in there, and if you take it out, that's going to give you a lot more room. I tried really hard not to overstuff her, but you know, once you get started, it's really hard to stop and go, oh, I want to put this in, and then it's like, no, stop and make another journal and put those things in it. So anyway, thanks so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed that, and I'll see you again soon in the next video. Bye.